David, Eerie Arachnids here, doing a kind of request video. This is just a real quick, I don't want to say it's a tutorial because it's not a tutorial, because the way that I do things may not be the way that other people do things, which does not translate to being right or wrong. What I am going to do is rehouse this little Grammostola pulchra that is hiding. You can see his little butt there, just sticking out of, maybe you can see just his leg. Yeah, you can see his butt sticking out of his little hide there. Because of the things I have coming in sometime next month, the Pteronocheilus tete and the Pteronocheilus Mozambique, so there's 5 total. I want to make sure that I have enough enclosures. They're all supposed to only be 1 inch, so they're all probably going to go into baseball cubes. So I'm trying to move some things around, and I was asked to do a video on transferring of a terrestrial spider. A lot of people that have arboreal spiders, and the way you do things with arboreal can be completely different than the way you house things terrestrial. And a lot of people can house them exactly the same way. Some people will just kind of coax them up and out, get them into the other enclosure. Some people will cup them. If you watch Tom Moran cups pretty much all of his tarantulas. I've gotten into the habit of doing that for quite a few of my species. Ones that I know that aren't very quick, that I don't believe will bolt on me, I either will just kind of coax them up and out over to my hand and then into the new enclosure, or just from enclosure to enclosure. So what I'll go over is just a couple quick methods. You know, we'll do this as quick as possible. So you have the old enclosure here, or the enclosure that the spider's in. The first thing to do is get rid of whatever you can without disturbing the spider too much. So we'll get the plants, because we know where he's at. Oops. We know where the T's at right now, so we don't really have to worry about him leaving, because he's scared and he's hiding. So there he is right there. Okay, so he's kind of skittish. This guy here is kind of skittish. So you can do this a couple different ways. Now, let me get... We're going to close him up for a second, and we're going to do something just a quick bit different. Now, with this size enclosure, this is not, it's not much different than a 16-ounce deli cup. It's square is your only difference. Okay, so here we have an empty one. Now imagine back to where the spider's in here, and we'll just say that the bottle cap is the spider. Okay, with the lid closed, if you just take a clear empty vial, small empty vial, you take the lid open and set this in here. Now, of course, this tarantula is probably in its hide right now, so we set that in there. You take your lid, put it back on, and then you can remove whatever decorations that are in there, the wood, the plants, whatever is in there, the water dish. Then the tarantula is going to be out. So if you just kind of barely open the side, get yourself one of these wooden skewers. You can buy them at Walmart for like $1. There's like 30 of them in there. I use these things pretty much exclusively to move my tarantulas. A, because they're thin, and a lot of times you can get them into the vent holes, like so. You can't do that with a paintbrush, okay? So if I don't have vent holes on the top like I don't have here, we'll just remove this just a little bit, and we kind of just coax the tarantula. Now, it doesn't always go in. We'll take the lid off, so pretend there's a lid there. It's not always going to go in. It may run around a few times, but eventually you're going to get to the point where it starts to wear itself out, and you just kind of gently coax it in there. Once it's in there and it gets back here, it's not generally going to come out. I can't stress that enough. Once they find that safety feeling, you're not poking at them anymore. We'll move this. This is the spider. The spider's inside there. All you need to do is take this lid and just kind of slide it over and pull it out real quick. Just spider's inside. Okay. So we can put this on and take them out. Now, that's one method. Another method is this way, where you take something like this small little 2-ounce deli cup, put it over top of the spider. Okay, now see, there's not a lot of room here to work. This is why I don't use this method unless they're in bigger enclosures. I really am going to have a hard time trying to finagle this lid in there. Now, it can be done. You just slowly, gradually place the lid underneath there, and the spider is going to come out on top of the lid, and now you have a spider in the cup. Pretty quick and easy. A lot less stressful, I think, for the spider. Then the actual taking the spider in this enclosure, putting this enclosure next to it. Okay, so this is the new home, and just kind of gently coax them out. Now, if you feel secure that the spider's not going to take off on you, this is the easiest way to do it, I believe. Now, here I am in this wide open table. I don't have anything to secure that spider not coming out. So what I'll do is I'll go get a tub. I'll put the tub on here, and then I'll show you what we do from there. Because I'm just going to kind of coax this guy from the old enclosure into the new enclosure. But if you look, okay, see the gaps that I have from this table. And then we have the dresser drawers that are partially open. I don't know why, they're closed. And the spiders, the first thing it's going to do is kind of crawl down. That's what it's going to do. Because anytime I ever have one that's kind of not done what I want it to, it always wants to go down underneath the table. So to prevent that, we'll get a bigger tub. We'll put this stuff in that bigger tub. And then he'll have one more thing he's got to climb out if he doesn't just go into the new enclosure and cooperate. So let me go get that, and we'll get set up, and we'll move this spider. I'm changing the name of this spider because I don't like it. I don't know why I named it Midnight. I just don't like the name of it. So I'll tell you what I'm going to name it once we get all done. And hopefully this will help you guys. Any of you that have a little bit of anxiety when you're going to move spiders from one, because I did. I mean, I had a lot of anxiety before. I was scared to death to try to move them because I didn't work with them. You know, and until you start working with them and you learn how they move, especially from spider to spider, because this Grammostola pulchra right here is a tad less skittish than my other Grammostola pulchra. And he was a cakewalk to move. So I don't expect this guy to give me much, or this guy or this girl to give me much fight. So let me go get that tub, and we'll go from there. So we're back, and we now are inside the tub, as you can see. And this tub pretty much covers my whole entire table, so it's the exact same size as my table. It is roughly about 6 inches high or so. And it'll give me a little bit of time if the spider doesn't cooperate like I want them to. So you always have to have something ready for a catch cup, which, you know, in this instance, I usually will hold onto, you know, like a 2-ounce deli. We'll put it in here, or 2-ounce, I don't want to call it deli cup because it's more of a condiment cup than anything. And then something I know the spider will fit into. So another little plastic cup with a lid. So we'll get the Grammostola pulchra that was originally named the Midnight, which is no longer going to be named the Midnight. And I kind of did a play on color here, and instead of naming it Midnight, what we're going to do is we're going to name it Snow. So gently take out its old bark, which we're not going to reuse in this spider enclosure, so we'll move it off to the side. And then I always lean, we're going to lean here, okay? And with the little stick, we're just going to kind of slowly, gradually coax them right into the new home. Now, he may want to go a little crazy like he is right now on my hand, but he's perfectly fine. And he may, this is the first time I've actually ever held a Grammostola pulchra before. And it may give me fits to go in, so we're going to move his old enclosure out of here. Come on, little one. He doesn't want to climb into my other hand. He was kind of content in that hand. He wants to climb up. So we'll try to get him back down. And this is how you can't freak out. You have to kind of just let them do their thing. I don't know if you guys are seeing this, maybe not, huh? There he is right here. So he doesn't really want to come off my hand right now. So I'll try to get him into this hand. Yeah, he's all over. And there he is. So the other part that you really need to make sure is that you have the lid ready, which for some odd reason, there's the lid. And you just kind of coax him down so you don't squeeze his feet in there, and put the lid in. And now he's all in his new home. Now, that was a little bit more excitable than what I expected it to be. I didn't expect to be having a handling video on top of actually rehousing it. So you have those few methods to do. I mean, there's really not much more to it than that. It's either coax them in with the brush or the stick, or get the vial, put it in there, try coax them in the vial, put the lid in, move the vial into the new enclosure, take the lid off, kind of coax them out, or do the cup method where you're putting something over top of them, which you can do with the vial too. And if you take and put the vial over top of the spider, like so, and you kind of move this a little bit back and forth, the spider will climb up that. And then you can just put the lid on it and move it to the new enclosure. So that's really all there is to it. And I know that it can be troublesome for people that get anxious and they get worried that they're gonna, not that they can't do it, not that they're scared. It's more like they're afraid they're gonna hurt the spider or something's gonna go wrong. They're gonna freak out. And that's the big thing, is that you can't freak out. I mean, there's nothing more about it I could say other than, if you freak out, that's when the accidents happen, and that's when you're going to end up squishing the spider in the lid or doing something other than what you want to do, and injuring the spider. Or when it crawled on me, it could have freaked out and flung it. We don't want that. So just take your time, be careful, know your contingency plans, make sure that you have contingency plans. I mean, I wouldn't suggest being up against a dresser like I am, but I've been doing this for a little while, and I've been pretty safe and secure doing it this way. Matter of fact, this is the first time I've used a tub in a long time. And I only used the tub, well, we'll probably use it for a couple more here when we do some more rehousings today. So I hope this helps you guys. Those of you that, again, do have a little bit of apprehension when you're trying to rehouse spiders. And this guy is still small. He's only, or she's only, about 1.25 inches. So it's not like we're dealing with a big spider here. But I found that a lot of times your smaller spiders can be a little bit more difficult to rehouse because they're a little bit less predictable and they're smaller, so there's less of them to see. So when they do want to take off, it's kind of hard to keep track of them. The bigger spiders, you know, you can kind of get a feel for what they're going to do with their body posture. You know, rehousing my Salmopaeus pulchra was a breeze. I think I've showed you guys many times how I use, you know, for the arboreals, how I use a deli cup on top of the enclosure open and just kind of coax them up into that. So again, I hope this helps you guys, and we do have some more rehousings that we're going to do. I don't know if I'll film them or not. I may not. The Euapolaceus campostratus is also going to move into something like this. The Brachypelma emilia, the one that just molted, is also going to move into something like this out of the Critter Keeper. Those are the three so far that I know I want to move, and the E-Camp I'm still debating right now. I may leave the E-Camp until it molts because it is, I don't know. I have to decide. It's kind of hard for me to decide what I want to do because there's so many I want to move into these types of enclosures, but I want to make sure that I'm not putting ones that are going to take a long time to grow in these and then bypassing some that are going to outgrow these and need to be in these a little bit quicker. Like the Phormictopus cancerides, there's two of them. They're smaller than this guy. Actually probably the same size but skinnier. They're just not as bulky as this dude is. And my Mycericopelma rubronitans, also I would like to move into one of these. So this may be a venture sometime this week that I pick up a few more of these. I still have 1, 2, 3, 4 that are open. of this size, and then the one size bigger, that'll be for the Acanthoscurria geniculata that just molted ash. So like I said, the new name for this guy is Snow. We're getting off that Midnight name because I never liked it. I don't know why I used it when I first named it. I hated it, and I just kind of kept it. But so yeah, the new name for this dude is Snow, and hopefully she's a she, because Norman is a boy, and it would be nice to have a female Grammostola pulchra in the collection. So all right, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to everybody soon. Have a great day, and look forward to some more stuff. We'll probably do some updates. I don't know if we'll do actual filming of the other rehousings. See you guys later.